In this question, we ask you to define ancestor relationship inductively. We already gave you basis. We say here use parent relation for basis. Okay, that is obviously the case. Quickly drawn picture show you. So if somebody is another person's parent, we know in family tree. Let's call this person X and Y, yeah? And X would be Y's ancestor, the first generation for ancestor. That is simply the case for ancestor. We use that as basis. Now, question is how do we define the induction part? Right, for induction, we know what we need to do is we immediately make assumption. So we assume somebody is already somebody's ancestor. Okay, we are trying to define ancestor, then we can assume, let's say we can assume person Y here, we can assume Y is another person. Let me move the camera down a little bit. Okay, let's call this person Z. The relation between Y and Z are ancestor. Okay, so now if you define ancestor relationship inductively, you should say, okay, assume I know two persons, they're already ancestor. Also, I know there's another third person, X is Y's parent. Okay, then you can further define X must be, so relation between X and Z must be also ancestor. Okay, in summary, you should say, okay, parent of somebody's ancestor is also this person's ancestor. Does it make sense? I hope this picture will help you to understand this definition a bit better. Okay, now go back to our four choices. Answer A says X is the parent of Y, then X is also ancestor Y. It is correct statement, but this is not inductive definition. It's no induction happening at all, so that is wrong. The second one, answer B, if X is the parent of Y and Y is parent of Z, then X is ancestor of Z. It's also correct, yes, in this case, X is a grandparent of Z. But again, we don't use induction here. It's not inductive definition. Then the third one, if X is a parent of Y and Y is ancestor of Z, then X is ancestor of Z. Look, that is exactly what I'm trying to say here. X is parent of Y, then we suddenly assume Y is ancestor of Z. Then you can conclude X must be ancestor of Z. Right, so that is correct answer. The final one, X is ancestor of Y and Y equals Z, then X is ancestor of Y. No, that's not right. Okay, please do remember the picture I have drawn here.